Rohit Srivastav as well. Rohit, good morning. Good to have you with us here. What's your sense? I mean, I think about a year and a half out back were saying we'll see rupee at 670, 75. We are at 67, so it's happening. What's your sense? I mean, there's nothing new. It's more of the same thing, but prices keep dropping every day.
Yeah, see, there are two things. One is you're watching the market on a day-to-day basis. What is the short-term trend, what is the medium-term trend, and what is the long-term trend? So these are three completely separate time horizons. I think on starting with the largest trend, which is the long-term, I think we are still in a cyclical bear market. Rather, you're in a bear market. So I wouldn't call it cyclical. You are in a bear market, and there was sufficient lead indication from the broader indices since January that they were falling far more than the Nifty. And what you're seeing in the last 10 to 15 days is essentially Nifty catching up with some of the broader indices. So, but when you see the last 10 days, then what you are finding is that the broad market has actually slowed down its decline. You're not seeing new lows in many stocks. The mid-cap, small-cap indices are still not breaking their last week lows, which Nifty is continued to do. So there is a kind of short-term divergence, an oversold state in the broad market, which can give you a relief. You're right now in panic mode, so you continue to hit new lows, but somewhere I think probably by expiration, once you've completed that round of panic, you will get a relief. But again, it would be temporary. It might last for maybe a couple of weeks, maybe an entire month. You might have a good month in September. But you're still in a bear market. So coming October, November, December, I think you'd again see the downward pressures build up. Now that's one part. The second part is there was a lot of divergence between global markets between Jan and May, and I mentioned that such a divergence essentially is when you're doing an accumulation or a distribution pattern. So all world markets were in the process of topping out, making different patterns, and now I think in the last 1 month you finally got the US markets making an impulsive down move. So I think somewhere by the next quarter, you have all world markets aligning to the downside, so the pressure is going to increase even from that front. So what we are really looking at, is a near-term oversold state from where things should recover a bit, improve a bit. You've seen bond yields in the US come off from their peaks. That should impact other yields around the world. But the broader trend remains the same. There's no change in the overall trend.
Right. You said close to expiration. That is today, Rohit?
That's tomorrow, right? Equity expiration is tomorrow. Currency expiration is today.
You're talking about equities. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sarvinder, I think you were talking about the rupee, right?
Yeah, I was talking about the rupee.
You were talking about the rupee.
Yeah.
Okay, got that. Rohit, so I mean, what does one do? I guess the question to ask is, how do you preserve capital? If you manage not to lose money, I guess in a market like this, that's great. Because 80-85% of the people would lose money in a market like this. So if you stay even, I think that's great. So let's just start with that thought process, Rohit.
Yeah, so the moment we say it's a bear market, you need to know where to put your money. You can't be in equities. The next option that a lot of large investors have used over the last 3 to 4 years has been real estate. We've seen a lot of our larger customers move out of equity and move into real estate. So they've not really been trading, which is why the number of customers trading has actually gone down. And when you look into where they've moved into real estate. Now somewhere as interest rates start moving up, you see pressure on real estate as well. So then where do you go? So there are two places that you will be able to hide in. One will be in currencies. So you want to be long dollar over the next 1 to 2 years, even though it may appear overbought. If there will be corrections in the USD INR, but you'd like to be long that. That's one place. Now, what if that place gets locked up for some reason, either because of steps taken by RBI or SEBI? The next place where that would directly reflect is gold. Now, gold could be declining in dollar terms, but it would at least give you a hedge because even if it falls in dollar terms or goes up in dollar terms, the USD INR more or less would compensate on price. So gold would become the hiding place for most money, and a lot of people have already moved into gold and silver and are holding on to that. So that would become the ideal hiding place, if not the currency.
It's not the currency, gold. I mean, and gold is at what, 34,000 odd rupees on the MCX. So, I mean, that's basically showed what you're talking about. Rohit, I just want to come back to you for a quick point. You said you'd say PSU banks would bounce. I missed the second part. What is that bounce contingent on? Because I missed what you said. And second is, I put out essentially graphics in the morning saying are these stocks most at risk? Stocks where FI holding is pretty high. I mean, is that the space to watch? So all these HDFC group stocks, IndusInd, Yes, ITC, Lever, Jubilant Foodworks, all these fall into that category. Is that the vulnerable part? PSU banks first, Rohit.
See, PSU banks have been falling way ahead of the private sector banks. So somewhere they are falling less, and that's a sign that they might base out. Some of them actually bounced back last week and are still around the lows. So what we are looking for is a potential for a counter trend move, and there's been a lot of volume. So if you're seeing selling, you're also seeing a lot of buying happening at the lower level. So somewhere that would provide support. Second is what you're talking about are the outperforming sectors or the defensive sectors that have been doing well over the last year and a half, which is mostly private sector banks, technology, FMCG, pharma. Now, as you enter the final phase of the bear market, the last phase usually involves a 12 to 18 month period where each and every sector goes down. So there's really no place to hide. And I think that's what you're beginning to see when you see selling coming into these sectors. So yes, it's definitely the beginning of a trend down for these sectors, but they've fallen quite a bit. So I am not sure if somebody is looking at getting out, whether this is the right price. You might want to wait a couple of weeks to see prices improve, but as and when they do, that would be an opportunity to again move out of these stocks.
Rohit, they've not fallen that much. Let's just put those graphics up. Most at risk. I mean, HDFC, YTD is down 17%. HDFC Bank is down 15%. Right? So IndusInd, Yes, Axis, etc. fallen. ICICI is down 30%. A stock like Mahindra and Mahindra Financial Services, where FIs hold 40%, is up 4.5-5%. ITC is up 4% for the year. Jubilant is down just 15% for the year. Lever is up 15% for the year. Look at Z, where foreigners hold about 45%. It's up 3.5% for the year. Tata Motors, about 29% holding. It's down just 7%. It's lost 7%. Hero MotoCorp, 30% holding from FIs. It's flat for the year, 0.01% up. And I can talk about pharma as well. So it's not as if they've fallen that much, and especially relative to the rest of the market, Rohit.
No, that's not the right way to look at it, because what you're doing is year to date, and the fall is essentially from the highs. You see different stocks and sectors have made a top at a different point in the last 6 months, because the Nifty kept going back to above the 6,000 mark again and again in January, again in May, and each point there was a different sector that topped out. Banks only topped in I think May of this year. Prior to that they were still going up. So if you really want to measure how far these banks have fallen, you need to measure it from the highs, and then you'll see that they've had quite a deep cut.